What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today is day 21 of our 30 days of wholesaling houses. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I decided for the month of May to do step-by-step training showing you how to flip houses in your city. So do yourself a favor, go to the playlist in the channel, start in day 1 of our 30 days of wholesaling houses, and I promise you it's going to teach you everything that you need to know to start making money in real estate for absolutely free. So go check that out. And by the way, for those who don't know me, my name is Saenz. I started real estate investing, real estate wholesaling at the age of 18, and over the last few years I've wholesaled and flipped a few hundred homes, and I want to show you step by step how to do it, what to do, what not to do, and ultimately how to make money in real estate. So guys, welcome to the channel. You finally found a channel where you're gonna learn everything for free. So I'm happy to teach you guys. I'm happy to bring you guys along my journey, teach you guys step by step. And without further ado, let's dive straight into day 21 of the 30 days of wholesaling houses. Let's go. Guys, when it comes to closing sellers, like, I'll be completely honest, like, I can close sellers, and I have, and I did for a very long time. What I want to make clear is that although I'm a good closer and I can close sellers and I've done it in the past, my superpower isn't necessarily closing sellers. My superpower is building companies, building infrastructure, building teams, and growing the vision and purpose to a greater level. However, when you first start real estate, it doesn't matter if you're an introvert or extrovert. You have to know the process on how to close sellers, how to get them to sign a contract, how to overcome objections and rejection, and get through all the loopholes to finally make a deal happen. And in this video, what I want to talk about specifically is how to handle objections so you can close the seller and get the deal under contract. Guys, so I want to dive straight into the screen here. What we have here is the 16 most common objections that sellers are going to have when you're speaking to them, when you give them an offer. In our last videos, we talked about how to find leads, how to market for leads, how to come up with the value of the property, what to offer, how to estimate rehab. So now, because we've learned all this, now this is where the money's made. This is where you finally get a deal under contract. And what's going to stop you the most is sellers and their objections. And by having this script handy when you're making conversations, when you're talking to sellers, when you're giving offers, when you're negotiating, it's going to give you the rebuttals that you need and the phrases and the words to say back when it comes to certain seller conversations. So if you want this script for free, the link is in the description. You just have to put your email and it'll send it to you. You don't have to purchase anything, but you can find it. So what I want to do with you guys is go over this so you guys can get familiar with the objections, the rebuttals that you should be saying. By the way, rebuttals is what you say back after an objection, and an objection is usually a blockage to why a seller hasn't made a decision yet. And in this case, the decision that we would like them to make is to accept our offer and sign our contract. So they're going to have a bunch of excuses, objections on why they aren't fully selling or committing yet. So objection number one, this is probably the most common one, is I want to think about it. You give them an offer, everything works, they're happy with it, you know they have to sell the property, maybe it's an absentee owner, they live in a different state, they just can't keep up with it, and they just say, I just want to think about it. And in this rebuttal is freaking gold. And guys, this isn't, word for word as you say it back, but this is to give you guys a framework. So if somebody says, hey, I want to think about it, you would say something like, hey, I can appreciate that, Mr. Seller. Thank you for letting me know that. But wouldn't you agree that two minds are better than one? I mean, if I leave, if I leave the property or I leave the appointment and you have questions, the chance of you picking up the phone is slim to none. It's not going to happen. Wouldn't you agree? So you want to let them know, like, hey, I'm here now. What's there to think about? I'm here if you have any questions. And then we're moving on to the next thing here. So you ask them, wouldn't you agree? They're going to say, yes. So let me ask you a question, guys. This is the most important questions when it comes to this objection. So what you want to ask the seller is, Mr. Seller, what specifically do you need to think about? Does it happen to be the contract? Is it the process? Is it me? Is it something I said? Or Mr. Seller, is it just the price? Guys, usually when people say I want to think about it, it's one of those four things. It's either the contract, It's either you disrespected or messed up, or you said something that irritated them. It could be the process. Maybe you haven't explained fully of how it works. Hey, we're gonna sign a 2-page agreement. It'll take 7 to 14 days to close. We're gonna open it with a title company. I'm not gonna bring you a duffel bag of money. This is actually all legal. It goes through a title company. They're our third neutral party that handle all the paperwork. I'm gonna wire in. You're gonna sign the documents. All you have to do, Mr. Seller, is let them know if you want a check or a wire. So the process, you want to explain that thoroughly to them. Or is it the price? And typically, I would say for about 50% of the time, it happens to be the price. So if you can corner the seller, and not really corner them, but ask them to really let you know, hey, is it the contract? Is there something that you don't like on this contract? We can change it, we can amend it, we can work around it. Is it me, Mr. Seller? Is it something I said personally? I definitely did not mean to offend you or harm you in any way necessary. Or is it the process? And if it's the process, again, explain the process to them thoroughly. But most of the time, it's going to be the price. So once they say, you know what, it's the price, it doesn't work. Well, Mr. Seller, what price would make you happy? Where would you need to be at to get something done today? Guys, and it's been crazy sometimes, because when you ask this question, sometimes the seller will say, if you can do $5,000 more or $10,000 more, and then it's still a deal. But most people, because they don't ask this, hey, I want to think about it, you walk away, they never call you, and you have a dead deal. But because you ask them the question, they can come back and say, yeah, I just, could we do $5,000 extra for, I want to take a vacation. We've had sellers tell us that. So asking these questions are extremely going to help. So moving on here. Okay, Mr. Seller, you do realize that I'm paying cash and I'll be paying all the closing costs. And remember, you don't have to pay any commissions. I'll take care of everything. We're not doing any realtor commissions, so you're saving thousands of dollars. With that said, what price did you have in mind? And again, the seller's going to come back and tell you a price. And okay, Mr. Seller, I mean, you're killing me here. I want to get this done. Okay, if I agree to $135,000, can we get this done today? And then the seller says yes. Or if he says no, then you go back to, hey, what price do you need to be at? You negotiate. Sometimes sellers are going to be, over your MAO, so you can't really work things out. So, and that's okay. But by having these rebuttals and having them ready and knowing what to say when somebody says, I want to think about it, guys, it's going to get you further along when it comes to closing sellers. Number 2, and we're going to start highlighting over these. So what I want everybody to do is, number 1, go to the link in the description and download these forms. You just have to go to the link, put your email name, and you're going to get these sent to you. And I want you to print these out or have them ready. And I want you to start rehearsing these in your mind. And as you call sellers and you hear a certain objection, I want you to remember this and go back and during conversation, start remembering, so you actually start saying them, and then you start working closer to getting your first deal under contract. Guys, so number 2, I want to sleep on it. Again, this is dialogue that you can read on your own. I'm not going to go through every single thing. The important thing here is going to be this. So whatever they say after this, again, Mr. Seller, what is your concern? Is it me? Is it the process? Is it the contract? Or is it the price? And in this scenario, it's the contract. I don't like being rushed into something this important. Okay, Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that. Those are really magic words. Mr. Seller, I appreciate you telling me that. Thank you. I hear you. Thank you for telling me that. It's like instant active hearing and listening. So those are magic words. But okay, so let's go through the contract line by line. You can ask me any questions. I'm going to be 100% transparent. I don't like to hide nothing. I want to make sure that everything's laid out on the table. I want to take care of you. I do want to buy your property, but I want to do this where you are completely happy, Mr. Seller. So let's walk through the contract. And then you answer all the contract questions, and then you have them sign the contract, and bam. So again, the most important thing, is it me? Is it the process? Is it the contract? Or is it the price? Those are typically your 4 rebuttals. So this is a common objection, especially because there's competition, other competitors in your market. So the seller would say, yeah, hey Alex, yeah, I have other investors coming to look at the property. I want to hold off. So you want to be blunt when it comes to this objection. Man, Mr. Seller, I'm kind of shocked. I don't play bidding wars. I really value my time. I'm a real investor. I can actually close the property. I have financial partners to back me. This is not the first time I've ever done this. and I have to withdraw my offer. So what you do is you withdraw your offer. If you're in an appointment, you stand up and you grab your contract and you start packing up. And then this question is gold. Is there something I said or did that makes you not like me? So you ask the seller, like, hey, did I say or do something that, rubbed you off the wrong way? I just want to make sure that, because I carry myself at a very high value, and I have, I have high principles, and I want to make sure that I just didn't offend you or harm you in any way. Is everything okay? They're gonna say, no, you didn't do nothing. So, Mr. Seller, so you do like me. So let me ask you this, Mr. Seller. Are you confident that I can close this deal? And you just shut up and look at them. And they're gonna say, yeah. So Mr. Seller, the price that I presented, is that a fair price? Yes or no, and then you can go and negotiate, and then you start working down. And guys, but you want to show certainty when it comes to this. We're gonna skip here. So Mr. Seller, I don't understand. I'm sitting here with you. You like me. You like the price. You're confident I can get the deal done. You don't want to waste time with so-called investors. We do real deals here. We can back it up. I can show you, the proof of funds. I can show you that I can do it. What's stopping you, Mr. Seller? What can I do to get this done and get this wrapped up today? So when you corner them like that and you tell them, hey, I'm the real deal. This is what I can do for you. Do you like the price? Yes, yes, yes. Great. When do you want to close? Do you want to close next Friday or the following Monday? And you just assume the close. And you start filling out the contract, and they'll follow. Or if they don't follow, then you go through negotiation and more objections. But if they do truly want to sell the property, and they have a rebuttal like this, you can easily overcome it and get that deal. So another objection that you're going to hear constantly is, Alex, what makes you different than everybody else? And you want to answer it just like this. Mr. Seller, that's a great question. You know what? I'm different. I'm different because I'm honest, I'm ethical, I actually get deals done. I've been doing this for a while, and I have a great team of people. I have amazing financial partners that can back me on any deal. And that's why I am certain and confident that I can accomplish this. I can buy your property. I can produce the results that I'm saying, and I can take care of you, and I can take care of this entire situation. And you know what else makes me different? I truly care. I'm not just going to buy the property, shake your hand, and never talk to you again. I love to have relationships. I want to know if you ever want to sell another house, or you have anybody else, or if we fix a house and you want to buy it. I want to give you the first option. I am here long term. I want to build a relationship with you, not just buy your house. That makes me different. So the question, Mr. Seller, is, would you prefer a check or a bank wire? So you assume the close, when do you want to close a property? Great, put your name right here. This is where you sign. You walk them down the property, you close that deal. Objection number 5. If I can't get this price, I'm not going to sell it. This is literally one of the probably most common objections when it comes to sellers. So, Mr. Seller, I can appreciate that. I understand your frustration with the market. It's going up and down every day. COVID just happened. I don't know where the prices are going to be at next month. It's volatile, and I totally understand that. But let me ask you a question. But what makes you believe that your house is worth $30,000 more than your neighbor that has a very similar house down the street? 123 Main Street just sold for X amount of money, and Mr. Seller, you want this price, but the comparables aren't showing that. They're not showing that. And they're going to always say, well, mine is better. Mine has better this, that, this. But in reality, the house across the street is probably better, right? But every time a seller, they think it's the best thing on the planet. So they're going to just, relate with others and say that theirs is the best. So when they say, hey, mine is in better condition, well, and then this is where you corner them here. Well, Mr. Seller, if you were the buyer, if you're buying a house in the area, would you buy one of the same properties for $30,000 more? Say you have 2 houses and they're the same thing, and one's priced $30,000 more than the other one. Which one are you going to buy? You're going to buy the one that's $30,000 less than the other one. And they're going to say, yeah, I would buy, if they answer, yeah, I would buy the $30,000 more, they're not being honest. Everybody would buy the house. If you have 2 same houses, you're going to buy the house that's $30,000 less. So the seller's going to say, no, I wouldn't buy that. So Mr. Seller, you do want to sell this property, right? Yes, I do want to sell it. So what makes you think that any buyer is going to pay a premium of $30,000 more for your house? If there's a house identical down the street, what makes you think that they're going to pay an extra $30,000 for your house? And you shut up and you let them answer. And they might come up with a few things. Normally they have nothing to say after that. So you say, okay, Mr. Seller, you do realize that I'm paying cash. I'm paying all the closing costs. There's no realtor commissions. We're closing on your time frame. We're not rushing you. We're here whenever you're ready. And you do realize that we're saving you thousands of dollars because of the closing costs and no commissions. With that in mind, Mr. Seller, what is the best price that you can do? And you shut up, and they're going to say, You know, if you could do 135, 140, I'll take it. And then you know your MAO is, let's say, 150. Okay, Mr. Seller, if I agree to 135, can we get something done today? And then you shut up. Yeah, let's make it happen. You know, some will be happy and some will like, okay, let's do it. Okay, Mr. Seller, sign right here. Let's go through the contract. Bam, 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 bam. So guys, this is the 5. I'm going to skim through these. If you want access to the rest of them where you can start going, you start playing, you start rehearsing with your significant other, your partner. I mean, this is fun. I haven't done this in years, so it's pretty cool to, you know, go through these scenarios again, because I've gone through every single objection when I started closing deals in my first and second and third year. So guys, if you want access to this script, go to the link in the description. It's absolutely free and you can check that out. And guys, because you stayed this long, I'm going to give you a free $500 gift. This $500 gift happens to be a closing guide that Adrian and Andy created. $500. This has sold for $500, and I'm going to give it to you guys for absolutely free. The link is going to be in the description, and here it is. So it's an all-in-nation closers guide. It goes over digital leads, cold calling leads, RVM leads, follow-up leads, every single scenario. It's all, I mean, what questions to ask the seller about occupancy, you know, if it's rented, vacant, owner occupied, you know, if it's rented, are your tenants aware that you're selling? How have the tenants treated you? It goes over everything. Checkpoint, first ballpark, how to give the ballpark, you know, the first offer, how to discuss the condition of the property, how to go and flow through the conversation. This is a free $500 gift for those that stayed this long in the video. So I hope you guys value this. You can find the link in the description to get access to this. And then, man, it goes over so much. It's 9 full pages of everything. Final details, third ballpark attempt, everything close the effing deal. And it goes over everything. So shout out to Andy and Adrian for making this. They allowed me to give it to you guys for free. This is something that we've sold in the past for $500. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the free gifts. Guys, thank you so much. Day 21 is in the books. Closing tips, rebuttals, objections, and I'm giving you guys free resources, free documents that you can download, start rehearsing, and start getting better when it comes to closing deals. I will see you guys tomorrow in day 22. Make sure you check out our podcast. We actually have 2 podcast episodes with Andy and Adrian. These guys have closed hundreds of deals combined for millions of dollars in revenue. So we actually have 2 podcast episodes that you can check out. We also have additional training, which happens to be our wholesaling course, which you can check out in the description or go to learntowholesale.com and check that out on your own time. Extremely valuable information there. And as usual, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment down below any questions, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow in day 22. Let's go.